Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a makeup do's and a makeup don'ts. So on one side of my face I will show you what not to do, and on the other side I will show you what to do. So first we're going to start off with our brows. On the don't side of the face, you want to focus on not having such wide strokes and not having such harsh lines. As you can see, the don't side, it also has that little box brow look. You want to refrain from doing that. Then you look like you have Lego brows, and that's not really cute. Now on the do side, you want to make sure that you keep it more natural, shorter strokes, and make sure that the curve of your brows is more natural. As you can see, it's still a little bit dark, but we are going to clean up the brows with a little bit of concealer. On the don't side, you don't want to use a concealer that has this white tone to it, especially for girls with color. That white harsh line and your foundation will not blend well. So you want to make sure that you use a concealer that is more to your skin tone and more to your foundation tone than a regular white concealer. On the do side, that you want to make sure that you use a concealer that matches your foundation color. If it doesn't match it, make sure that it's maybe a little bit darker than your foundation color, because you don't want those harsh lines and you don't want that appearance of a harsh brow. So you want to make sure that everything is blended right. So now we're going to move on to foundation. Your foundation should match between your jawline and your neck. As you can see, this foundation is way too dark. It does not match me or my neck. Another don't is, do not take that same concealer that you use to curve your brows and make that line any more white or obvious. Just don't do it. It's not cute. It doesn't blend well with your foundation. It's just not okay. And then on the do side of the face, you do want to make sure that your foundation is matching, which it is. It's Max NC 45. It comes off kind of orangish when you put it on, which kind of scared me a little bit. But when you blend it out and you start to put on the rest of your foundation and your concealer and stuff, it makes your skin look a lot more healthier. Now with your concealer, you're going to create that wing look under your eye. It's a triangle look on both sides. On one side, I don't use as much because a little bit goes a long way with some concealers, and for this one specifically, you don't need a lot for it to give that appearance of the catching the light. On the don't side, I'm using an eyeshadow brush. This brush is not going to help you get that more natural look. It's not going to help you blend out those that concealer. What you need is either a beauty blender or some type of sponge. Even a flat stippling brush would help, just to make sure that it's more natural, and you want to make sure that it's not catching this white cast over it. Now for the powder, you want to make sure that you're choosing a powder that is close to that concealer color and that will blend well with your skin. You don't want to use it all over the face. You need a regular powder foundation if you want to set the rest of your face. Now with your contour, you want to make sure that you're using a contour shade that is 1 to 2 shades darker than your actual skin tone. Do not use a shade that is completely dark. You're gonna look like it's uneven and it's just not gonna look good. Now on the do side, I tend to use a shade that is 1 shade, maybe 2 darker. The goal for your contour is to make it look as natural as possible. So keep doing and blending out your contour so that it doesn't come out very harsh and no harsh lines. Now what I'm gonna do is wipe away any excess product off of the face. You want to make sure that your powder is coming off. On the don't side, you see that it does not come off because the powder is soaked into that color, so it looks like a white cast. And make sure that you blend it out and there's no harsh lines. Now when you highlight your face, you want to think less is more. On the don't side, that is a lot of product And of course you want to blend it out because you don't want that harsh line, but it is still not blended out to what it's supposed to be. On the do side, I take a little bit of that product on my finger and I just dab it on my face, and then I just blend that out with a powder highlight. I take that with a obviously not a good brush, and I just set that cream in. But on the other side, I'm going to use a fan brush, which allows the powder to create a good glow. And now for blush, as you can see on the don't side, it didn't show up. So I used a very pink blush just to make sure that it shows up. On the do side, I'm going to use a color that just allows for it to be a more simple blush instead of having it be harsh. Now when I move on to the eyes, on the don't side, what you do not want to do is create this harsh line in your eyes. You want to make sure that everything's blended out. So as you can see, there's a harsh line between that dark brown and the actual brow bone, and there's a harsh line between that gold and the brown. On the other side, I'm going to use multiple colors instead of just using one, and I'm going to make sure that everything is blended out and make sure that there are no harsh lines. When you blend it out, you want to make sure that at the end, blend it out with a regular clean brush so that there's no excess product on that brush, and make sure that everything is blended out well. Now for your eyeliner, what you want to do is make sure that you keep the line straight and even on both sides. You do not want to keep going up further and further with your eyeliner. Now for the other side, although it didn't catch me doing it, I try to keep the wing not very long and the line on the lid very thin for this look, just because I didn't have lashes. On one side of the lips, I use a lip liner, and on the other side, I do not. The reason why I chose this purple lip color is just to show you how straight the line can be if you take your time. On the don't side, I don't use a lip liner. I overline the lip with a liquid lip, which is not what you want to do. If you want to overline, start with a lip liner, and then overline just the top peak of your lip and nothing more, because then you look clownish. Now that is it for today's makeup do's and don'ts. I hope you guys really liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with everybody. Don't forget to follow my social medias, and I'll see you guys next week.